All right, so moving on to the final segment, we're going to pivot here to the world of wrestling inside the WWE world. In this next segment, I'll be sharing my WWE Backlash PLE summary. So I'll be covering all 5 of the matches that took place on this WWE Backlash PLE card. Starting off with the opener match, we seen Jacob Fatu defeat LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, and Damian Priest in a fatal 4-way match to successfully retain his United States Championship. Now, my thoughts on this match: this was an outstanding opener and a great way to establish Jacob Fatu as the future of the company with a great first title defense and his new reign being the United States Champion. All 4 men did a great job establishing their star power, great wrestling all across the board. But Jacob Fatu, to me, was the clear MVP of the match. I think, hands down, he is one of the biggest free agent signings in all wrestling companies in this decade alone. In 2020, Jacob Fatu has been tremendous with the WWE thus far. But in this Fatal 4-Way match, there were some good spots. I like the spot where Jacob Fatu hit the Swanton Bomb on Drew McIntyre. Then LA Knight hit the BFT on Jacob Fatu. Then Damian Priest hit the South of Heaven on LA Knight. Then Drew McIntyre hit the Claymore on Damian Priest, only for Damian Priest to fall into the cover on LA Knight, getting the 2 count. And that gave me shades of Backlash in 07 when John Cena, Shawn Michaels, Edge, Randy Orton all were in a Fatal 4-Way match for the WWE title, all hit their finishers, but one of the opponents accidentally fell on the other. And I thought that was going to be the end of the match, how that match was going to end. So that was a good callback in my opinion, but storytelling was on full display for this match. Damian Priest pulling the ref out of the ring with Drew McIntyre could have got the 3 count. Remember, Priest has cost McIntyre on several occasions with titles. The Royal Rumble eliminated him from, the Elimination Chamber eliminated him from, then cost him a title opportunity to become a new champion here at Backlash. But then, I like the South of Heaven where Damian Priest chokeslammed Drew McIntyre on the outside of the ring, but that took both the men out of the equation. But then the ending storytelling mattered as well. Jacob Fatu clearly not needing Solo Sikoa's help. What does Solo Sikoa do? He gets Jeff Cobb. Jeff Cobb makes his WWE debut, and him and Solo help Jacob Fatu retain the United States Championship, pinning LA Knight. And there's a story to tell because, like I just said, Jacob Fatu clearly does not need Solo Sikoa's help. And he was actually pissed off that Solo and Jeff Cobb, who probably had no idea he was debuting storyline-wise, but now Solo Sikoa has, it looks to me that Jeff Cobb will be Solo Sikoa's new right-hand man instead of Jacob Fatu. So it seems like the tables are turning, and we will eventually get a United States Championship program between Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa coming this summer. So, next match on the card, you have Lyra Valkyria. Lyra Valkyria successfully retained her Women's Intercontinental Championship against Becky Lynch. Now, this was the first ever women's mid-card title that was defended at a WWE PLE since the United States Championship and the Women's Intercontinental Championship have been established and introduced to the company. But this was great between Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch. Great in-ring wrestling, several counters, several near falls. Lyra Valkyria kicked out of 3 manhandle slams that Becky Lynch delivered to her, as Lyra Valkyria looked pretty strong. And this was a star performance from Lyra Valkyria. I think a new star has been born in the women's division. I think Lyra Valkyria also looked good hitting that picture-perfect moonsault on Becky Lynch. And the match ended up with Lyra Valkyria pinning Becky Lynch on a roll-up pin. Something that she did similar to when these respective women met the first time in the NXT ring, where Lyra Valkyria took the NXT title from Becky Lynch at NXT Halloween Havoc in 2023. So, based on what I've seen at the end of the match with Becky Lynch destroying Lyra Valkyria, being pissed off she lost the match, this feud is going to continue. And I wouldn't be surprised if somehow, some way, Becky Lynch returns and wiggles her way into this program to set up a triple threat match down the line between Lyra Valkyria, Becky Lynch, and Bayley for the Women's Intercontinental title. Because remember, Bayley does own a victory against Lyra Valkyria for the IC title. Lyra Valkyria has defeated Bayley. Bayley was supposed to be Lyra Valkyria's WrestleMania tag team partner to take on Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez for the women's tag team titles, but Becky Lynch attacked Bayley and became Lyra Valkyria's tag team partner for WrestleMania. So that's why I see Bayley somehow, some way being inserted into this story at some particular point. But I think this feud will continue between Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch. Something that mid-card titles need, feuds to make this titles feel more prestigious, more honorary. They're brought to the WWE for a reason, not a prop. I hope SmackDown eventually has a good storyline for the Women's United States title. But this is golden right now, what we're getting between Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch. And next match, speaking of the Intercontinental Championship, you got Dominic Mysterio, who defeated Penta to successfully retain his Intercontinental Championship. Now, this was I like the pace of the match. I thought it was a pretty good match. I like where Penta tried to hit a suicide dive on Dominic Mysterio on the outside of the ring in the early parts of the match, only for Dominic Mysterio to use his great wrestling IQ to counter that into a picture-perfect tornado DDT on Penta and planted Penta headfirst onto the ground on the outside of the ring. I thought that spot was the best spot of the entire match. But I like the fact that Dominic Mysterio also hit Liv Morgan's finisher, the Oblivion, on Penta, got a near fall out of that, hitting Dominic Mysterio, hitting his girlfriend, quotation marks, girlfriend, storyline-wise, of Liv Morgan, her finisher, as she's off to shoot a new movie. We don't know what kind of movie it is, but it's a big project, whether it's a Marvel movie or whatever it is. Liv Morgan's going to be off WWE television for quite some time. But, of course, the Judgment Day of Finn Balor, Carlito, and JD McDonough came down to help Dominic Mysterio retain his Intercontinental title, only for the referee to catch Finn Balor in 4K. And catch Finn Balor. I think it's funny when Finn Balor gets caught by the referee. He ejected all 3 members of the Judgment Day, only for El Grande Americano, a.k.a. Chad Gable, to attack Penta, hit him with that headbutt. As you guys know, when El Americano hits the headbutt, he has that, I don't know what he has in his mask, a hard, shiny object to throw his opponents off. So he hits the headbutt on his opponents, it throws them off each and every single time. And he hit that on Penta, and Dominic Mysterio capitalized and retained his Intercontinental title. So we possibly will be seeing a storyline of El Americano versus Penta, or the Lucha Bros finally forming together, because El Americano did defeat Rey Fenix at WrestleMania. So that's probably the collision course we're going to be seeing very soon. El Americano and probably a feud with the Lucha Bros once those 2 respective wrestlers get on the same brain. But I will say the loss benefits both wrestlers. Dominic Mysterio retaining Intercontinental title, obviously right call to me. And he continues his Intercontinental title run. Now has 2 victories against Penta for the Intercontinental title. Meanwhile, Penta doesn't look that bad in the loss, because it was basically a 4-on-1. 4-on-1. Yes, 4-on... No, actually, it was basically 5-on-1. 5-on-1 affair where he had to overcome so many obstacles to become the Intercontinental Champion. Just came short due to outside interference. Next match, you've seen Gunther defeat Pat McAfee. Now, the first half of the match I thought was going to be a clear squash match. Gunther leaving his chest imprint on Pat McAfee's chest. Pat McAfee's chest looked as red as a hot air balloon and as pink as a Starburst, a piece of Starburst candy. But the fact that Pat McAfee did rally back in the second half of the match, and I like the storyline of Michael Cole, Pat McAfee's colleague and his announcer partner on the red brand of Monday Night Raw, trying his best to rally Pat McAfee back in the match, and even nearly helped Pat McAfee defeat Gunther, where Pat McAfee had the pin on Gunther, and Michael Cole was holding Gunther's foot down to hold him down for a 3 count, only for Gunther to kick out a 2. That pissed off Gunther, and just like that, Gunther put the sleeper hold on Pat McAfee, put him to sleep. But I like the show of respect that I seen between Gunther, Michael Cole, and Pat McAfee. Honestly, was this PLE worthy? No. This was worthy for an episode of Monday Night Raw on Netflix, but not PLE worthy. So, respectfully, this was the worst match on the card. And in the main event, you had John Cena defeat Randy Orton to successfully retain his WWE Championship. Now, if this is the last time that we got John Cena and Randy Orton, thank both respective legends. Made my childhood from 07 to 2025. Well, I'm not a child anymore, but the rivalry from 2007 to 2025 has been special. One of the greatest rivalries in WWE history. And fun fact, the PLE matches that we've seen between Cena and Orton over the years, they're actually split 5-5 and 1-on-1 competition for world title matches. Cena getting the 5th victory over Orton. Record stand at 5-5 against each other. But the match, this was really good. I like the reversal spot of John Cena trying to hit the AA with Orton on his shoulders, only for Randy Orton to turn that into a RKO. I thought that was a good spot. Cena tried to hit his comeback shoulder tackles, only to run into a RKO by Randy Orton. Randy Orton also hit an AA on John Cena, landed John Cena on the announcer's table, and then put John Cena through a table on the outside of the ring, hitting an AA on Cena. 2 finishing moves that Orton stole from Cena and capitalized on it. Then, 2 referees went down here. Cena smashed the second referee with the WWE title, bashed his skull in, and Randy Orton hit another RKO. Then he self-destructed, had the title won, but there was no referee to count the 3 counts. So what do? RKO Nick Aldis for a 3rd time and several WWE executives. And Randy Orton was just about to punt Cena's head out of the building, only for R-Truth to save his childhood hero of John Cena, which, by the way, R-Truth is older than John Cena. This is hilarious. But R-Truth to save John Cena from losing the title. Randy Orton hit a RKO on R-Truth. John Cena capitalized, hitting a low blow, and bashing Randy Orton's title, or head in with the WWE title. In a similar way, how he won the WWE title against Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 41. So, Cena retained against Orton. This was a pretty good match for what both these respective wrestlers bring and their 40s and their respective WWE Hall of Fame careers. Something I want to touch upon, I don't think Cena's heel run is bad. I don't think it's the best, but how do I describe this? I think it's something to get used to. I think what people are upset about is the fact that how the heel turn happened with Cena having The Rock and Travis Scott by his side, only for The Rock to never appear again after the heel turn. So for wrestling fans, it kind of makes you think, what the hell was the point of turning John Cena heel? And another thing is, I've seen Cena emotional crying after the match. I don't think he feels guilty. I think it was just pure raw emotion of Cena letting it out after possibly having his final match with, in my opinion, his best rival, and honestly, his wrestling soulmate in Randy Orton. So maybe the emotions were running high for him. I think Cena is going to do more to elevate his heel character, which sets up for what happened at the WWE press conference, where Cena was confronted by R-Truth and basically hit an AA on R-Truth driving through the announcer's table. So as crazy as it is, in 2025, it seems like we're going to get John Cena versus R-Truth for a WWE title feud in the year 2025 one more time. That's actually crazy when you think about that. That's actually crazy. I think that's the route that we're going to go in for the WWE title, to keep Cena active, and for something for him to do for WWE Saturday Night's main event coming up very soon in the next few weeks. By the way, having WrestleMania in April was such a bad idea, because now you have PLE on top of PLE on top of PLE with hardly any time to build toward these PLE matches. So I think Cena and R-Truth is up next. But that is my WWE Backlash PLE summary. And that is all the time I have for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. This is your host, Thomas Tyree, signing off. And I'll see you guys on next week's episode.